Hey, good morning, happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday, March 17th, and I am Alan, and I want to welcome you to my Spiritual Growth Through Recovery podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to grow my spirituality by following the AA program of recovery and being honest, vulnerable, and being accountable. That's why I'm doing the videos. To be honest, I don't want to do this video today. This exact moment, this exact day is why I want to do this. I'm hurting. I want to quit. I can't handle life on life's terms sober. That's how I'm feeling today. But I'm here, and that's the accountability part. I'm not an expert in recovery, AA or spirituality. It's just my journey. I'm doing this so I don't go off the rails and just get messed up. I'm just going to share my experience. So, all right. So, we do is read AA daily reflections every day, and then give you my take. The link is in the description. And today's topic is going to be God's mysterious ways, and this too shall pass. All right, let's get to the reading. Mysterious ways. Out of every season of grief or suffering, when the hand of God seemed heavy or even unjust, new lessons for living were learned. New resources of courage were uncovered, and that finally inescapable, the conviction came that God does move in mysterious ways. His wonders. Wow, I butchered that. God does move in a mysterious way. His wonders to perform. Oh, sorry, I butchered that. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 105. After losing my career, family, and health, I remained unconvinced that my way of life needed a second look. My drinking and other drug use were killing me, but I had never met a recovering person or an AA member. I thought I was destined to die alone and that I deserved it. At the peak of my despair, my infant son became critically ill with a rare disease. Doctors' efforts to help him proved useless. I redoubled my efforts to block my feelings, and now the alcohol had stopped working. I was left staring into God's eyes, begging for help. My introduction to AA came within days, through an odd series of coincidences, and I have remained sober ever since. My son lived, and his disease is in remission. The entire episode convinced me of my powerlessness and unmanageability of my life. Today, my son and I thank God for his intervention. What an absolutely relevant reading. I was at this point where I'm like, I'm staying sober, and I'm struggling, man. I'm really, really struggling. So I guess the parts that kind of stuck out to me was, we talked about after losing my career, unconvinced that my way of life needed a second look. I can't count the number of years. Nothing wrong with myself, nothing wrong with me, nothing wrong with what I'm doing, remaining unconvinced. This is another example. Everything's going well, and I'm losing my shit. And I just want to check out the insanity, right? Where it says, I redoubled my efforts to block my feelings. Ooh, I like to do that. That's what I felt like. I just want to shut it all off. Shut it off. And then alcohol stopped working. What I'm doing, it doesn't work. I need to do something different. I feel like I'm always running. In that place where nothing works. And that's where I was a little while ago. And I guess that's the desperation it takes to get re-engaged in the program. I thank God for his intervention. Can I find gratitude for this situation? I think it mentioned somewhere in here about lessons for living were learned and new resources of courage were uncovered. There's going to be some growth from this for me, and I don't know what it is. Of course, I can't see it, so therefore, I'm freaking out. Really, really good reading. It's been a really, really hard couple days, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's been struggling to live on life's terms, and I got to the point yesterday where I just said, I wanted to say, F it, I'm done. Go back to using it. It's easier. And considering where I got the desperation where it talks about earlier, that's the choice that I wanted to make. I didn't really want to make it, but that's where I felt compelled to do. The fear, was really hitting me. I really didn't want to make this video, right? I felt overwhelmed, frustrated. I perceived my life as not going my way. I just can't deal with one more issue, one more thing, right? And then, of course, I was working on my fourth and fifth step. So I worked on a part of my fifth step last night. And I became so aware of how I'm contributing to my own problem, right? It's like the more my life gets challenging, the more of my control I impose on it. Okay, and then it just makes it worse. I get more frustrated. Mother-in-law texted me yesterday that said she was struggling, and it made me think of something. So I mentioned the God line. Whenever I'm frustrated or struggling, maybe I've crossed the God line. Maybe I'm trying to manage something that's not mine to manage, and it really kind of made me think a little bit. I let those things go. My sponsor constantly talks about being driven. It's Alan Paul. I gotta force these things to work out a certain way. It's killing me. It's killing me. And because I act that way, I need the drugs and alcohol to take the edge off, and so I'm the problem. And then that's frustrating, right? And it's like, no, the problem's right here. The problem's right here. It's my thinking. Yeah. Not always easy. But I got to remember, right? I got to remember that just because I can't see a way out doesn't mean there isn't a way out. How many times have we felt like, oh, how's this going to work out? And it was never as bad as we think it's going to be. I got to remember that. Life has its ups and downs, and I just got to keep grinding, man. Just a few days ago, I felt great. I felt so good. It's up here. It's up here, right? I got to remember we have a daily reprieve based on the spiritual condition. One day at a time. And what I'm going through will pass. If I can just use the tools and not use, it will get better, and it will get better. I'm looking forward to step 6 and 7. I've noticed some behaviors and some character defects in me that I'm hanging on to. I do not want to let go. I think they're serving me, and they're not. If I'm ready to give those up, and if not, I'm going to pray to be willing to see how they really are, how they really affect me. So this reading is really, really applicable today. I'm really grateful for that reading. Just got to keep grinding. You need to get out of self. It's all about me, right? It's all about me. So that's what I got today. Just I'm glad I sat down and did this. Even though it's with the vulnerability and honesty. I'm not going to get better if I'm not real about what I'm going through. So here I am. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening. I want to encourage you to maybe look at your reality and where are you judging things? Where do you see things as good or bad? What do we know? What do we really know about what's good or bad? We think. Maybe that's my problem. I'm thinking, and I'm overthinking. I'm trying to control. Just try to stop judging and just see the beauty in the world and be grateful for what's there. So anyway, if you're listening, have a good weekend and be back on Monday.